Questions 1 through 6 of the Algebra 1 Regents from June 2023. These are the topics for each question. Skip ahead to the chapter wherein they are explained. Question 1. The expression 9m squared minus 100 is equivalent to. These are the answer choices. To practice, pause and answer the problems. This expression is a difference of two squares, which means it can be written as the product of two binomials. Let me show you how. We start with 9x squared minus 100. To factor this, we need to find two numbers that multiply to give 9x squared and two numbers that multiply to give 100. One way to do this is to use the square root of each term. The square root of 9x squared is 3x and the square root of 100 is 10. So we can rewrite the expression as 3x squared minus 10 squared. Now we have a difference of two squares in the form of a squared minus b squared, where a is 3x and b is 10. The formula for factoring a difference of two squares is a squared minus b squared equals a plus b times a minus b. So we can apply this formula to our expression and get 3x plus 10 times 3x minus 10. This aligns with answer choice 1. Question 2. Which expression represents an irrational number? Let's start with option 1. The square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 1 is 1. So, option A is equal to 4 plus 1, which is 5. Is 5 an irrational number? No, it is not. We can write 5 as a fraction of two integers, such as 5 over 1. So, option 1 is a rational number, not an irrational number. We can eliminate option 1. Next, let's look at option 2. The square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 4 is 2. So, option 2 is equal to 5 plus 2, which is 7. Is 7 an irrational number? No, it is not. We can write 7 as a fraction of two integers, such as 49 over 7. So, option 2 is also a rational number, not an irrational number. We can eliminate option 2. Moving on to option 4. The square root of 49 is 7, and the square root of 9 is 3. So, option 4 is equal to 7 plus 3, which is 10. Is 10 an irrational number? No, it is not. We can write 10 as a fraction of two integers, such as 100 over 10. So, option 4 is another rational number, not an irrational number. We can eliminate option 4. Finally, we have option 3. The square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of 7 is a decimal that does not terminate or repeat. So, option 3 is equal to 6 plus the square root of 7, which is approximately equal to this decimal value showing on screen. Is this decimal value an irrational number? Yes, it is. We cannot write this decimal value as a fraction of two integers, because it has infinitely many non-repeating digits after the decimal point. So, option 3 is an irrational number. Therefore, the correct answer to the question is option 3. The square root of 36 plus the square root of 7. Why is that? Well, here's a quick explanation. The sum of a rational and irrational number is always irrational. Question 3. Which linear equation represents a line that passes through the point -3, -8? We'll use this formula, called the point-slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. This formula needs a point on the line, x sub 1, y sub 1, and the slope of the line, m. Our point on the line is -3, -8, so we can replace x sub 1 and y sub 1 with these values. The slope of the line is 2, since all the choices have that slope. So we can replace m with 2. We get y minus -8 equals 2 times x minus -3. To simplify this equation, we distribute the 2 and combine like terms. We get y plus 8 equals 2 times x plus 6. Then we subtract 8 from both sides to get y equals 2 times x plus 6 minus 8. Finally, we simplify further to get y equals 2 times x minus 2. That's our answer, which is option 1. Question 4. The expression 5x squared minus x plus 4 minus 3 times x squared minus x minus 2 is equivalent to. First, we write the expression. We multiply -3 by each term inside the parentheses. This is the distributive property. we write -3 next to each term, like this. Then we remove the parentheses and write 6 terms. When we multiply -3 by a negative term, we get a positive term. Now we combine the like terms. Like terms have the same variable and exponent. We group the like terms. Then we add or subtract the coefficients to get one term for each group. Now we write the simplified expression with 3 terms, like this. This is our answer. We simplify the expression to 2x squared plus 2x plus 10, which is answer choice 2. Question 5. The 24th term of the sequence -5, -11, -17, -23 is. First, let's write down the first 4 terms of the sequence. To find any term of this sequence, we can use a formula that involves 3 variables, a, d, and n. A is the first term of the sequence, which is -5 in this case. D is the common difference between any 2 consecutive terms of the sequence, which is -6 in this case, because each term is 6 less than the previous term. N is the number of terms in the sequence, which is 24. Now that we have all the variables, we can plug them into the formula and calculate the 24th term. Let's substitute the values of a, d, and n into the formula. Now let's simplify and get our final answer. The 24th term of the sequence is -143, which is answer choice 2. Question 6. When completing the square for x squared minus 18x plus 77 equals 0, which equation is a correct step in this process? The first step is to move the constant term to the right side of the equation, so we get x squared minus 18x equals -77. The next step is to find the value that we need to add to both sides of the equation to make the left side a perfect square trinomial. To do this, we use the formula -b over 2a squared, where a and b are the coefficients of x squared and x, respectively. In this case, a is 1 and b is -18, so we plug in these values and simplify. -b over 2a squared equals -18 over 2 times 1 squared, which equals 18 over 2 squared. This all simplifies to 9 squared, which is 81. So we need to add 81 to both sides of the equation, which gives us x squared minus 18x plus 81 equals -77 plus 81. Now we can factor the left side as a perfect square, using the formula x minus p squared equals x squared minus 2px plus p squared, where p is half of b. In this case, p is -18 over 2, which is -9, so we get x minus -9 squared equals x squared minus 18x plus 81. Therefore, our equation becomes x minus 9 squared equals 4. The next step is to take the square root of both sides, remembering to include both the positive and negative roots. This gives us x minus 9 equals plus or minus 2. The final step is to isolate x by adding 9 to both sides, which gives us x equals 9 plus or minus 2. This means that x can be either 9 plus 2, which is 11, or 9 minus 2, which is 7. As we saw, the correct step is answer choice 1.